Thank you, Dom. Thank you very much. It's absolutely delightful to be here. It's such an honor to be able to welcome all of you to this fantastic third biennial conference of the Helen Hamlin Center for Pedagogy. And really, there can't be a better, a more fitting place than the British Library to host a conference on children's language, literacy, and literature. So I'm Li Wei, I'm the Director and Dean of the UCL Institute of Education, which is also a faculty of Education and Society at University College London. As probably all of you know here, the Helen Hamlin Center for Pedagogy was established in 2017 as a research center focused on improving pedagogy for children in primary and early years education. It was created as a result of Lady Helen Hamlin's passion for primary and early years education. And I'm really pleased that some of our important trustees of the Helen Hamlin Trust are here, especially Lucy Margaret, isn't it? Helen's sister, and of course Dame Alison Peacock here. Now, the Helen Hamlin Trust provides funding only for a very small number of centers, including the Helen Hamlin Center for Design at the Royal College of Art and the Hamlin Center at Imperial College London, which focuses on imaging, sensing, and robotics in healthcare. It's a very diverse range of interests. But I believe that the real passion of Lady Hamlin's and also the trust is for education, especially early years education. So very proud to have the center with us in the IOE. And we're also very, very proud that I'm pleased that this year UCL decided to award Lady Hamlin one of its highest honors, the UCL Fellowship, for her contributions to some vital areas of society, including education. In the context of the challenges for education in universities, the funding that Helen Hamlin Center Trust provides is crucial in supporting progress on some pressing challenges of the world today. The center has been engaged with no fewer than 12 different projects this year in 2023 alone, supported by a range of funders, obviously enabled by the funding from the trust. The work of the center on the teaching of reading has had unprecedented coverage by mainstream and social media, nationally and internationally. Again, many of you are very familiar with that coverage. It's not every day that a research project led by a university group of researchers is described on the front page of the Guardian newspaper as a landmark study, but then only got knocked off that top spot because the then Prime Minister Boris Johnson had to appear in front of the House to answer some questions on the Partygate. Now, we're not here to talk about those things. We're here to celebrate the fantastic achievements of the Helen Hamlin Center for Pedagogy. Engagement with the work of the center on teaching of reading and writing has continued at a pace. For example, recently, it's been featured in a piece in The New Scientist, and through consultation with the authors of by the Washington Post as well. So please do read some of the IOE blogs. There is a series of blogs to get a sense of the debate that is being stimulated by this research. I know that Professor Weiss is going to say something more about the next steps in the center in a moment. HSCP also led the Independent Commission on Assessment in Primary Education. The findings of the Commission have featured strongly in a report published by the All-Party Parliamentary group for schools, learning, and assessment in October 23 this year, called Towards a Fairer, More Useful, and Fit for Purpose Way to Assess Children and Young People in the 21st Century. This and other work, such as the groundbreaking work on food banks, is part of HSCP's work on and for social justice. Another theme of the center's work is on children's agency, and is receiving increasing interest, not least in the context of global challenges. Data analysis for the longitudinal study of children's agency in the national curriculum is underway, with a book contracted with Routledge. The work on agency continues to inform developments in Ireland's new curriculum framework for primary education. So the international impact of this work is absolutely on the increase there. Now, I'm really happy and delighted to be here to celebrate the achievements for the center today with you, not just because of my office as director and dean, but also for a much more personal reason. I'm professor of applied linguistics, and as Don mentioned, my academic specialism is on the language development of bilingual and multilingual children, including biliteracy and multiliteracy development. I got into this for a very personal reason. I did have some pictures to show you, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. So I was born into a Manchu family, and Manchu is an ethnic minority group in China. The language represented on the left, which is written vertically from right to left, should have been the language I knew. I should have acquired that. But instead, I acquired the language represented on the right, which is Mandarin Chinese, the dominant language of China. Now, I do remember my granddad scribbling the Manchu script when I was little, and I thought he was just drawing pictures. Despite the fact that the Manchu ruled China over 300 years, you can still see some of the signs in both Manchu and Mandarin Chinese in places like the Forbidden City. Of course, lots of you know about The Last Emperor, the film, Oscar-winning film. It was also all about the Manchu imperial family that was still ruling China about 100 years ago. And one of the most famous Manchus is the pianist Lang Lang, of course. Despite the fact that the Manchus ruled China over 300 years, over 2 dynasties, it lost its language. There is no monolingual Manchu in the world anymore, and most ethnic Manchus these days, like myself, do not speak the language or read the language. I'm not going to go into the details of that history here, but when I first arrived in England in the 1980s, I immediately noticed a parallel situation with the children of from ethnic minority background in this country, whose first language or home language is not English. The loss of the home language is fast, especially literacy. Now, in the field of sociolinguistics, the topic is known as language shift, which happens across generations. So I started studying that particular phenomenon. Of course, it happens to all ethnic minority families, the Italian communities, the Greek communities, Turkish communities, Gujarati communities. We see it all at different pace and different rate. Now, there are complementary schools or community language schools to support language and literacy development of these children, British-born children of ethnic minority background. Now, in the meantime, we know from the scientific research there are tremendous benefits, cognitive, cultural, and curriculum benefits of bilingualism, multilingualism, being bilingual, multilingual. Right now, my group is exploring the National School Database, which already shows that the children who have maintained a home language other than English and attend complementary schools these are weekend schools, they do achieve much better results in English and maths compared to English monolingual peers at the age of 11. And we also have our own laboratory evidence to show literacy in orthographically different languages, such as Chinese, brings special and very specific cognitive benefits in domains such as spatial visual processing. I could have, if I had time, talk more about my ESRC project on family literacy in bilingual, multilingual families. I'm very pleased that the new DFE-funded Languages Hub program, led by the IOE, has a home heritage community languages strand to promote bilingualism and community languages, including literacy in multiple languages. The Hub program is DFE's most the biggest investment in language education in schools. It's focused on secondary schools, but I'm very much hoping that the team can collaborate with colleagues of this center to work on reading and writing in multiple languages in early years and primary level. So I'm absolutely delighted to be here with you today, and I welcome you to this exciting conference. It really is exciting. You have such an amazing lineup of speakers and a fantastic program. You really will hear cutting-edge research and exemplary practice, which is the theme of the conference. Thank you, Team HHCP, for organizing the event, and thank you, Lady Hamlin and the Trust, for your support. I wish I could stay at this conference. I do have to attend Languages Hub Board at 11 at DFE in a minute. But have a great day and enjoy the conference, and thank you for being here.